What's up, everybody? Squirrel Man's back again. Finally parked. Man, I ain't lying. I kicked ass this week, y'all. I kicked ass. And I did exactly 3,000 miles this week. And my check's going to look nice. I already did the math on it, so I'm really happy about that. I just dropped my last load, and I had like an hour and a half left on my clock. I mean, that's all I had left. So I'm doing my 34-hour reset right now. I'm like really proud of myself, man, because I kicked ass yesterday and today just so I can get this last load done so it'll be on this next check. So I'm really happy about that. Somebody just sent me a message asking me about making a video about the CBDs and stuff like that and the vapes and shit. I'll tell you what, I smoked cigarettes for 16 years and quit cold turkey in one day. That's been... what was that? That was March 7th, 2010. I haven't had a cigarette. And weed, if there's any kind of THC in that shit, man, I don't care. Listen, okay, let me put it to you this way. I worked in law enforcement for 3.5 years. People that work in law enforcement that have never smoked weed before don't know what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to weed. They think they're experts because they read some shit, but if they've never smoked it before, they think this way, but they don't know that they're fucking morons and they don't know what they're talking about. I mean, I've sat in classrooms, because when I was younger, I smoked weed for years, you know, but not anymore. I've been sober for years now, and I'm proud of it. I'm very sober. I love being sober. I love the way my life is now. I would never go back to doing that shit. If you ask me, drugs are a complete fucking waste of time. It's hell no, I wouldn't do that shit. But anyway, I'm sitting there in like my training classes, taking classes on this shit, listening to, you know, some guy who's like, a big head honcho in the prison system talking about weed. And he's like, well, you know, if you smoke marijuana, you can be high for 28 days, you know? I'm like, no, you can't, dude. But I'm not going to say that because I just want to get my check and go home, right? I'm not going to sit here and argue with the guy for being stupid. They think, listen to this, listen to me real carefully. They actually think that if you smoke weed, you can be high for like 30 days, right? No, that's not true. However, the stuff will be in your system. You can test positive for it, but you're not going to be stoned that whole fucking time, okay? I mean, if you could invent a strain of weed that would keep you high for 30 days, you would be the richest man on the planet, you know? Fuck Jeff Bezos. He'd be nothing compared to you. So if anybody in law enforcement is watching this, you're a fucking moron if you actually believe that. You've obviously never tried it, you know? And I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you that's the truth. Now, the other thing I want to tell you is I don't give a shit if it's legal in your state. The federal the federal entity that controls this shit is not going to give a fuck. You know, if you test positive, they're not going to care if it was legal in your state. When you smoked it, they're still gonna fire you, and that's just still gonna go in your clearinghouse on your record. It's gonna black book you. So every time you try to get a job as a truck driver, they're gonna see, oh, Bob Smith failed a drug test. You know, doesn't matter. You can't get away from it. Like when I used to go to California all the time, in many states, because there's so many states that have those little weed shops now. Okay, so I live in South Carolina. It's illegal in South Carolina. My truck yard is out of North Carolina. I'm pretty sure it's still illegal in North Carolina. If I was to drive to a state and take my 34-hour reset in a state where it's legal and smoke it, I'm still going to get in trouble. I'm still going to get fired. They don't care. It's like being a policeman in a state where it's legal. I guarantee you, if you are a policeman in a state where it's legal and you fail a drug test, they're still going to fire you. They don't care. And you can say, well, what about alcohol? Hey, I don't know what to tell you, man. That's just the way they think. You know, that's just the way they are. There really are people in this world that think weed is such a terrible thing. I don't think so, because no one's ever smoked weed and beat their wife, you know. But they sure as shit drank and beat their wife. That happens all the fucking time. you know? And I think it's ridiculous. You're sitting, and I hope you agree with me. I think it's so fucking ridiculous, the system, the way they regulate certain things, you know? But I couldn't care less because I don't have a drug problem. I don't have a drinking problem. So that shit doesn't affect me, you know? I'm sober all the fucking time. And when I was younger, I wasn't. But now I'm on the other side of the fence and I see what I was missing that whole time. If I could go back, I would never have done that, you know? I would have been sober my whole life because I don't see it's a problem. I like being sober. I like having a beer occasionally, but I mean, the whole time I'm out on the road, I can't drink. If I got into an accident and I had any alcohol in my system at all, I would get in a shit ton of trouble. You know, I would absolutely lose my CDL. And if that person got hurt, if I hit somebody and they got hurt, I guarantee you I'm going to jail. Even if it was for like one beer, I guarantee you, if that cop tested me and I had alcohol in my system and I'm driving this big ass truck, dude, that's like all she wrote for me. You know, I was in it's like a grocery store gas station kind of thing yesterday when I was in Pennsylvania, and they had like a restaurant that served alcohol in there, and I'm talking to the cashier and I'm looking over there. I'm like, because first of all, I'm hungry as shit, you know. And I'm like, God, I kill for a beer right now, man, because I hadn't had beer in weeks. And she kind of laughed, and I was like, yeah, if I had a beer and I got in trouble or got caught, you know, I was like, that'd be all she wrote for me. And she kind of laughed. She's like, yeah, my brother-in-law is a trucker. I know, yeah. I was like, all right, well, see you later, you know. But as far as like those vapes, I'm sorry, anybody who does that, you look like a fucking douche doing that. You look like a douche. That's why I call those dick flutes or douche flutes. You know, when I rode with Biscuit, he was all the time with that stupid fucking dick flute, man, and it used to drive me crazy. That's why I used to make fun of him for it all the time, and it used to piss him off. But I just never stopped doing it. Right? And they had those stupid little chips in it that he had to replace all the time, and I called them dick chips, and they would be on the floor all the fucking time, and I'd be like, dude, pick your fucking dick chips off the goddamn floor, man. It used to drive me crazy, you know? And I'm like, and he'd tell me what he'd spend on those things. I'm like, dude, why do you spend so much money on those stupid fucking things, man? I'm like, that shit is so addictive, you know? Like, look at it this way. If I was going to take up a bad habit, I'd just go back to smoking cigarettes, you know? Because smoking cigarettes, first of all, I don't want to do it in my house because it'll make my house smell like shit, you know? But like with those dick flutes, you just all the time sucking on that fucking thing all the time, dude, because it doesn't stink. Most of them smell like berries or some shit, which, you know, I'm not arguing about that because he used to suck on that thing in the fucking truck and I would just smell like strawberries or something, you know? It didn't bother me, you know? But yeah, that to me makes it like way more of a liability because you never want to put it down. You can do it anywhere. You can go in the fucking bathroom. No one even knows you're doing it. It just smells like candles. You know, kids at school, it's a huge problem for kids at school now because they'll go in the fucking bathroom like between fucking classes, you know. When I was in school, we'd smoke cigarettes. This is back in the 90s, man. We'd go into the fucking bathroom and you know, chase a fucking cigarette real quick between classes, right? And then you could smell it all the way down the fucking hallways. It stunk so bad, you know. But if you're wondering, like, if your question was to me, is it okay to do that stuff? I don't know. I spoke my piece on it. I don't know anything about CBD really. If it has any kind of THC in it, I would not risk it. I really wouldn't. It is not worth it, man. I'm telling you. Because like I said, once you failed a drug test, that's it. There's no going back. It's on your permanent record. Like a credit card you didn't pay off. You know, it goes on your record. It's always going to be there. And then every time you try to get a truck driving job, you're going to have to be like, yeah, blah, and you're going to have to explain yourself, and you're going to feel like a total fucking asshole, right? So it's not worth it. And bad habits to me, like I said, I quit cold turkey in one day after 16 years. And to me, I think those are for weak-minded people. If you have a habit like that and you just can't get rid of it, it's because you're weak. You're weak up here. You know, you need more power and strength and discipline up here and in here to get rid of that shit, because that stuff is just taking over your life. You don't need it. Anybody says, "Oh, I need a cigarette." No, you don't. You want a cigarette, right? You don't need it. So the way I did it is I just woke up one day and just told myself I don't smoke. And that might sound crazy to you, but I wholeheartedly believed it, right? Because I knew that was the only way I could quit. I fucking believed that I never smoked a cigarette before. Just like I believe I have a hat on my head right now. I woke up one day and I said, I don't smoke. I don't know what you're talking about. You know, it was like a third voice in my head, second voice in my head, whatever. And I'm like, I just don't smoke. I don't know. So, because every time, when you're trying to quit smoking, you keep saying to yourself, I don't want to smoke. I don't want to smoke. I'm not going to smoke a cigarette. You need to replace that voice with, I don't smoke. I've never smoked. I don't even like cigarettes. You know, I just kept saying that shit to myself 50,000 times over and over and over and over again all day long. And lucky for me, the small group of people I had around me for that first week took a notice to it, and they were nice enough not to say anything. Like my wife, she was like, hey, I noticed you weren't smoking for like the first few days, and I didn't want to say anything because I figured you were trying to quit. So I just didn't say anything. And I was like, thank you so fucking much. I appreciate that. That's what made it so easy for me to quit. And within like 3 days, I didn't even want one, you know? But back then I was so into fitness, man. Oh my God, I was crazy into it. I lost some weight and I just got super addicted to working out. And I looked fucking amazing. I was running like 15, 20 miles a week. Like at least every other day I would go out and run 5 miles. I was in the gym like 4 or 5 days a week, just lifting weights for like 3 hours a day. It was like a drug to me. I couldn't stop doing it. You know, that's why everything I could do, every step I could take to improve my health, I would do it. So like getting rid of cigarettes just made sense to me. All right. But that's a long story. So anyway, if you're thinking about, doing that, like, don't. That's all I can say, man, is don't. It's not going to help you anywhere. And like I said before, don't forget that I said this. Just because it's legal where you are consuming it doesn't make it right in the eyes of the people that are in charge. They don't give a shit. You can argue it all day long. You can cry. You can call up Congress. It doesn't fucking matter. They don't care. It's like I said, if you're a police officer in California or somewhere, anywhere where it's legal, I guarantee you they still drug test those police officers. And if you're a cop and you're watching this, please comment, because I guarantee you're going to be like, hell yeah, you're right. You know? And they've told us before. When I was working in the prison system, they told you straight up, like, hey, if they legalize that shit, I guarantee you we're still going to drug test you for it. And if you test positive, we're going to fucking fire you. You know? So it doesn't matter. So anyway, I hope I answered your questions. That was a really good idea for a video, man. I can't remember your name. Sorry, but you know who you are, man. Shout out to you. That was a really good idea for a video. I can't wait to get home for Christmas. I'm getting me a new phone. I'm going to try to get one of those Pixel phones, I think. This is an Android. That's why the quality just looks like shit. So once I get that, and somebody I know is really good at this stuff is going to teach me how to edit. So hopefully my videos are going to get a lot better over time. So I appreciate all you guys for watching my stuff, even though my videos look like shit all the time. But I know you guys watch my videos because you appreciate the message. You appreciate the knowledge I'm trying to lay on you. So I really appreciate you guys. Please like, share, subscribe. Common sense ain't common.